Good evening, good evening, good evening. I said I was going to come back on today to talk to single women about things they need to stop doing as a single woman if you're looking to have a successful relationship in 2021. It's very easy as a single woman to start looking for a man, but not letting the man find you. It's about he who finds a good wife finds a good thing. And some of these things I'm sharing tonight would actually help you begin to learn to show yourself some love. Hi, Darnies. Nice seeing you. Show yourself some love, appreciate yourself, and allow the partner to see the value in you as you come to the relationship table. Then allow yourself be put on a pedestal and mistreated, and I'm just sharing this, give me a second, and mistreated and disrespected. And so if you learn these three things in 2021 and you start to do them, it becomes very easy for you to attract the partner that you truly need to have in your space without allowing yourself get carried away or be mistreated by a man. You have to show a man, first of all, that you're ready for what you're looking for. So let's begin. Number one, stop playing mom. Stop playing his mom. You have to stop playing his mother, because when you're doing that, it's kind of in a way where you're getting in his way. You're so much welcome, Darnies. You're so much welcome. You have to understand that when you're playing the role of his mother, he will never see you as anything else. What do I mean by playing the role of the mom? You're cooking, you're cleaning, you're putting yourself out there like you are there to be the housekeeper. And you're doing that as part of performing and also trying to make him see why he has to choose you. The reality is you don't have to make a man see why you need to be chosen. Let me say that again. You do not have to make a man see why you need to be the one chosen by cooking, cleaning, and playing the mother role. He has to see why he needs to choose you. You don't have to show him why you need to be chosen. He has to see why he needs to choose you. And as long as you're presenting what he needs to see and adding value to him, it becomes very easy for him to choose you. But if you're role playing and trying to be the mom, he'll let you do it. What do boys do with the moms? Mom, can you do this? Mom, can you do that? And then that's what you're going to get. Hey, can you do this? They may not even call you honey or sweetheart because they don't see you as that. So he's like, babe, can you do this? Babe, can you do that? And then you begin to take the role of the caregiver without allowing to see what value does this woman have and how can I value her for that value. Number two, stop making him be the dad. Stop making him be the dad by asking him for stuff. Daddies are the ones who take care of us as women. The daddy takes care of you, giving you money to go get your hair done, giving you money to go buy makeup. But when you start making a man who you want to be with to do all of that, he's going to be like, you know what? She's just using me. I don't see any value she brings to the table. And he's just going to use you for that reason and for that purpose because that's what you're presenting. You're showing him all you want is for him to be the ATM. So when he decides, you know what? She's not the one. I can spend on her. I can use her back because she wants to use me. Remember, it's a two-way street. You're using him, he's using you. You're playing the transactional relationship. He's just going to see himself like, I'm the daddy role. I'm not the partner. At the end of the day, he gets tired of playing the daddy and he leaves you alone. Number three, never try to change a man. Never think you can change a man. Never think you can change a man. A man doesn't need you to change him. He has to show you the reason why he needs to change. Every time you're trying to change a man, it's based on the emotional wounds that you carry and you haven't healed from. And when you try to change him, what you're going to do is to manipulate and try to control him, because he's not a puppet. Men can keep quiet because they care about you and they don't want to hurt you. But when you try to change him, when he's not trying to change for you, then you're going to just mess the whole thing up. A man will voluntarily change for the woman he sees is worth changing for. Let me say that again. A man will voluntarily change when he sees the woman is worth changing for. A man, and I'm going to have to type it out. A man will voluntarily change when he sees the woman is worth changing for. You can't change him. He has to want to change himself. When you look at relationships where the man decides, I cannot afford to lose this woman, he's going to do every single thing he needs to do to make sure he doesn't lose you. And that's you showing him how valuable you are to his life without trying to do anything. Let me add a bonus. Stop trying to get into a relationship ahead of time. Bonus. Stop trying to get into a relationship ahead of time. You have to learn to be his friend first. Learn to be a mutual friend first without thinking about the relationship. Get to just be like a friend. Don't even ask him about, are we dating? Because if you have to ask, you're not. You have to always remember, I share this with you all the time. Dating is a vetting and sorting game. Dating is a vetting and sorting game. And so if you're not looking to become friends, how can you vet someone? If you're performing, what happens is in the dating and vetting and sorting, he's also going to perform. He's going to mirror back to you everything you're mirroring, to everything you're showing him. And when you're showing him that you want a relationship, when you don't know him yet, he's going to take advantage of you. Even though some of them don't like to do it, but when you're trying to force a relationship and a man knows you're not the one, he's going to take it because you're freely giving him everything. You have to remember that when you build on the friendship first, you're getting to know him, you're getting to add value to him, he's adding value back to you. You're not asking, are we dating? Are we going out? What are we? Are we an item? Are we date? You know, you just keep asking and he's looking like, if you have to ask me, then we're not. When a man is ready to be in a committed relationship, he will let you know. When a man is ready to be in a committed relationship, he will let you know. Just be the friend. Be supportive. Add value. Don't talk too much. Because when you do that, guess what? You're giving him enough ammunition against yourself. When you're busy telling all your tales, you're giving him enough ammunition to hurt yourself. Because he's like, you know what? If she can open up, I've only met her maybe 2 weeks, and I already know this much. She's not going to be the one. If she can open up all this business, then it means if I tell my business in 2 weeks, my business will be all over the place. Because the business you tell him in the first 2 weeks is too much info. He doesn't need to know all that info. You're building on a friendship. Friendship takes time. You have to get to know him. Let him find out a lot about you before you tell him anything. You know, he decides, let's go out for dinner. Go for dinner and just listen. Be the listener. That's how you can even become a better chooser, when you're listening more. When you allow him to speak and you're hearing based on your requirements and you're evaluating and checking it off, you can easily tell if he's into a relationship or not. But when you're busy talking, he's going to be like, all right, I already know all the deets. So let me just sit here and perch and play the game, because this one, she's told me too much in a week or two. So he's already sensing the loneliness. He's already sensing the neediness. He's already sensing the clinginess. And what do you think he's going to do? You want to cling? I'll cling. And in the first 2 weeks, why are you asking him, why is he not kissing you? You don't even know who this person is. And you're already asking, why are we not kissing in 2 weeks? He doesn't want to kiss because he doesn't know you yet. You don't even know him yet. How much of him do you know that you really want to be in his arms like week 1? And don't be the one doing all the calling. Hey, how are you? Let him be the one calling you, because when you call, you talk too much at first. And then he's going to be like, oh my goodness. He may not tell you, but he'll be like, and he'll tell his boys, you know, I just met this girl and it's like, she can talk me to death. And that's a turnoff. If you don't know it, it's a turnoff for men. There are men who will listen to you because they already sense you're lonely. So they just want to be the listening ear and like give you that leeway. But when it's getting too much and you're giving out too much deets, at the beginning, they may ghost on you. And you're like, oh, we just started talking 2 weeks ago and I don't see him anymore. You've killed his his curiosity, and he's like, I'm long gone. You've told me too much already. And if you told me this much when I don't know you yet, then what do you expect? He's not looking for someone who will talk his life out. He's looking for someone who will add value to him. He's looking to connect with your soul. Darnie says, oh, OMG, yes, I needed this. Listen, I'm saying it out loud because I've also made these mistakes before I became a coach. I will be the one playing house. Oh, you gotta eat. You gotta do this. Before he met you, he was eating. Let him be the one asking you, how was your day? Have you had something to eat? When you start asking him, you're already playing mom. That's something I would ask my son when he comes home. What are you going to eat? You're not even the wife yet. So if you're already asking him, what are you going to eat? You're already playing the wife role. And he'll be like, you know what? She can take care of that part of it. I can use that convenience. It's very convenient for me to get free food. It's very convenient for me not to even put money down. It may be convenient for me to even buy her the groceries so she can cook it. Let him be the one asking you stuff. Don't be the one giving it away. You're already giving away, I'm a wife material. I can cook. I can clean. I can dry clean. I can run your errands and chores for you. He's going to be like, you know what? Free service. I'll take it. And then when you start doing the free service, you're already expecting he's going to get into me and then we're going to have sex. He's going to be like, oh, free cookies. I'll take it. And what you will discover is a man who respects you will tell you, you know what? I don't want to do this with you. But then sometimes as women, we're like, yeah, it's okay. And he'll tell you, I don't want to do this with you. But when you try to force things, he'll be like, you know what? She's giving it free. I'll take it. That's one thing you have to understand about men. When you give it freely, they will take it. And because you're freely giving it, when they don't show up again and they ghost or they decide to tell you off, they'll tell you, you brought it on. You brought it to me. You gave it to me. So what are you complaining? I had your consent before I did it. And you're busy throwing the tantrum from the daddy issues. Oh, you're an idiot. You're a user. And he's like, I didn't ask for it. You gave it. When you keep asking him, are we dating? He's like, changing topics because he knows you're not dating. He doesn't know you well enough yet to figure it out. Or he's already seen enough that he knows he doesn't even want to date you. And there are men that would actually take advantage of the fact that, you're doing so much for them, and they'll still be seeing other women because they're not dating you. They're not into you. But they're just passing time because they feel, well, she's lonely. I can keep her the company she wants just to make her feel okay. But do you just want to be okay? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Do you just want to feel okay? Temporary ones? Or do you want a long-term thing where you will be respected? That's a question you have to ask yourself. I cannot answer that question. I can only answer it for me. And this is part of what we do in the Purposeful Relationship Circle. I teach you how to learn to present yourself. I teach you how to connect emotionally with a man. I teach you how to become the listener. I teach you how to set your relationship requirements. I teach you how to discover your core values. I teach you how to heal from everything that's making you run on the emotional coaster ride that's ruining the relationship. Because here's the thing. You can meet the right partner at the wrong time because you're not ready for it. And then you throw him out the window because what you presented is not what he's looking for. And if you don't heal from that particular relationship when it ends, what you're going to do is carry the wounds into the next relationship. And then when you get into the next relationship without healing, you're going to start comparing. Oh, he's like Dave. Dave did the same thing. And then you're going to start reacting than responding. Because there's a difference between reacting and responding. So when he says something that reminds you of Dave, that triggers you of what Dave used to do, you're going to act out and give him everything that you gave to Dave, that chased Dave away. And you're going to be wondering, why am I meeting all these jerks? You have to check what you're attracting because whatever you're presenting is what you're attracting. And if you're performing and packaging and morphing just to fit in, then it will not work. You will not need to fit in. Hi, Olu, I see you. You will not need to fit in to let the man see you for the value that you bring to the table and your worth. If he calls like 7 times in a day, you can decide you're only picking 1 or 2 calls. Yes? Because when you're picking all the 7, he's like, oh, she's easily available. She has nothing else to do but sit on the phone. That doesn't show him the value you bring to the table. If she's sitting on the phone 7 times a day, then she doesn't have anything else she's doing. That's the message you're passing across. And you may not even realize that's the message you're passing across. If you have questions, feel free to ask the questions because it's all about getting you ready to have a successful relationship in 2021. If you're doing so many things that aren't working out, then you have to check yourself. Because it's not always about the other person. It's sometimes about us as women. And if you're not doing the rain check, then you have to figure out, what am I learning from this process? What awareness is this person bringing to my life that I'm not seeing? And how can I prepare myself to be in a better place so that I can attract better to myself? Because if I'm not attracting better, it means I'm not yet better. And if I'm not better, then it means that I can't really get what I'm looking for. Stop trying to get ahead of the game. Every relationship starts with a friendship. When you're friends, you can know more than when you allow your emotions dictate the pace. And your emotional wounds are showing up and presenting and packaging and performing and morphing and auditioning for the partner than allowing him to see your true self. I shared with you, I think it was 2 weeks ago, when you sit with the man within the first 10 minutes, he can already decode you. Based on whether you're talking too much or you're showing him who you are. And he's going to be in his head like, nah, she ain't the one. That's why sometimes when you rush emotionally and you give up the cookie at a very early stage, you just see that the man will ghost. It's not like he doesn't like you, but what you've shown him is not what he's looking for. So he's just in his head, he's like, just another one. And you don't want to be another one. You just don't want to be an option. You don't want a man to say, oh, that one. She's easy to get. I can, if I call her up now, I can tell you she's going to invite me to come stay over again. Because there are men who will tell that to their friends. Oh, it's Tanya calling. I know what she wants. She just wants another nightstand. I'll go hang out with her and I'll leave in the morning and get back to my place. I don't have anything doing tonight anyhow. And then when he has something doing and you're calling him, hey, Dave, you haven't called me. Is something wrong? Or you're calling at 2 a.m. Dave, I can't sleep. Call 911. I mean, you really have to, it's not funny, but sometimes you have to look at the way we women carry on without being consciously aware of those things that we do. What choices are you making? And how are you letting those choices lead you to a successful relationship that's not based on the emotional wounds and trauma that you're carrying? That's not based on the daddy issues that you haven't healed from. That's not based on you allowing yourself to let the fear of rejection, abandonment, or attention or affection lead you to the wrong arms. And nobody breaks you. I will be very honest with you. I used to be one of those people that would say, I'm heartbroken. Nobody can break us as women except we allow them break us. Even as a man, nobody can break you except you're allowing them to break you. And it's how you present yourself and how you communicate with that person to make them see what value you're coming to the table with and how they can also add value to you. You have to be intentional and strategic when you're going in. Hey, this is me. This is what I'm looking for. What are your intentions about, us? I just want to know where you are. I want to see what vision you have. I want to know what goals you have. You invited me out on a date. What are you hoping to build from this relationship or this friendship? You may not even use a relationship. You may use a friendship because your friendships have to be purposeful as well. You're not just coming to form a clique. Because that's you saying, hey, bring the trash, come dump it here. I'm a dumpster. But you have to look at it. What purpose or what are your intentions for this friendship? What are you looking to accomplish from us meeting? What are your goals? How can I support your goals and your vision as a friend? And how can you support mine? We're not forming a transaction. We're looking for ways to grow each other and add value to each other. But when you meet at the date and you're already like, oh, he got me flowers. Oh, he called me. Oh, and you're already fantasizing. Then you're already creating what doesn't exist with fantasies, because fantasies are illusions and they're not reality. So you're already creating in your mind this person that doesn't exist, and then you're setting expectations that this person you just met will be that person that doesn't exist. And you're not going down to the details. It has to be tall so that what? How does tallness add value to you? Oh, he has to be God-fearing. In what way does his God-fearing add value to you as a woman? I'm just giving you tips that can help you think. In what way is his God-fearing nature going to add value to you? Oh, he fears God. Anybody can fear God at any point in time. But what value does that add to you as a woman? If that's one of the things that you're looking for, how does that add value to you? He makes 6 figures so that what? He can spend, or you can build together because you also make 6 figures and you can see how you can take that and create a legacy for your children when you have them. No, he makes 6 figures so it'll be easy for him to buy the weave and the bags and the eyelashes and the concealers. Then he's not going to add value to you. He's just going to be an ATM. And he sees that you don't need to add, you can't add value to him. So you know what? He's going to take advantage of you, because if he's giving you money, then you're in a transaction. What are you buying? Or what are you selling? What are you selling to him? And most of the time when a man is giving you money, you end up selling your body to him for free sex. And then you have to look at it. Did you give it away for free? Yes, you did, in exchange for money. Because money is paper. How can that paper add value to you when you spend it? It doesn't add value to you. In another 2 or 3 months, the eyelashes need to be replaced. The weave may need to be replaced if you use one. The concealers will need to be replaced. Then you're going to start looking for somebody else to do the same thing for you without you doing it for yourself yet. Hello? I really want you to think about this going into 2021. What exactly are you looking for in a relationship? I had someone say to me earlier this week, I just wanted to be in a relationship because I wanted to start a family. For what purpose? I just wanted to have a partner and then think about us having a child. Have you thought about how you're going to raise the child? What expenses come with raising a child? What legacy or investment do you have for that child so that that child cannot lack? What have you established when it comes to you going back to work if you're working and having a babysitter? What plans do you have? Do you know how much diapers cost? Do you know how much baby food costs? Do you know how much change of clothes you have to buy? No, but I want a partner so that we can start having children. It's so easy to say that, but what's the purpose? How does that bring growth to you both when you're not on the same page about having a child? And that's why when you see that women get pregnant to try to tie a man down, I'll get to you, Darnice. Get pregnant to try to get a man down, the man may not accept the baby because he's not ready for it. Darnice says, I've been working on myself. I haven't dated in almost 2 years, and everything you're talking about, I've been working on. This is a confirmation. Thank you so much. You're so much welcome, Darnice. Hey, it's all about working on yourself. And one of the things that you'll discover is if you're not rushing into the relationship, like Darnice said, if you're not rushing into the relationship, what you'll find out is that you start to know yourself more. The things that you don't know about yourself, you're discovering. Because there's nobody there to take your attention away or to distract you from who you are. And you're looking at yourself like, wait, I'm not so ready for this relationship at this point because I don't know me yet. And Darnice, let me just confirm to you, I'm going 11 years now. It's almost 11 years. It'll be 11 years in March. I'm giving attention to certain people, but I can tell they were time wasters when we met. And that's because sometimes I just want to talk. And by the time I say I'm a coach, most of them will ghost. Because I give them the lowdown. The last person that had a conversation with me was someone I had worked with on a project. And we started talking and I started showing his red flags. Like I was literally writing down and I put the paper in front of him and I said, here you go. These are the red flags I'm reading. And he ghosted. He was like, oh, I have a call. I have to take this call in my car. And he never came back to the dining table. And then Darnie said, yes, so true. Oh, wow. You will recognize distractions because now you're connected with your emotions. You're allowing yourself to understand who you are. And you're not rushing in. Will there be times when you have the sexual urge? Darnie is laughing. Yeah, there'll be times. But let me tell you, it's what you feed your mind that leads your life. What you feed your mind that leads your life. What you feed your mind will lead your life. If you feed your mind with the sexual desires, that will lead your life, and you will be chasing after the sexual desires. But one of the things you would understand is when you're by yourself and you're getting to know and understand who you are, and you're connecting with your true self, when the thought comes in, you're going to be like, I don't need that. And you're going to immediately flip the switch. You're going to flip the switch off and you're going to be like, I don't need that thought. That thought is not where I am now. I'm working on myself. And then you find something else to do and that thought eventually goes away. But if you get the thought of, oh, I have this sexual urge now, and then you start watching the romantic movies, guess what? A distraction will show up like that and block your vision, and you're like, oh, I have to get a new dress. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I have to do this. And you're giving yourself up. Give me a minute. I'm going to move because I'm cooking my son's steak and I don't want to burn it. So you have to think about these things when you're getting into these relationships. What is the purpose of the relationship? That's one question you have to ask yourself. If the relationship doesn't have a purpose, why are you getting into it in the first place? What are you hoping to accomplish from an unpurposeful relationship? Nothing but pleasure. And after the pleasure is over, how does it elevate you? How does it elevate you? How does it elevate or add value to you and your partner in different ways? Do you even know this person enough to know if you really want to be with them? Because that's another thing. 2-3 weeks, you're already like, girls, I got a boyfriend. And he's like, huh? I'm just your friend. I don't know you yet. I'm just your friend. But where does all that stem from? Your loneliness, the void that you haven't filled as a child, from having the father issues, not having the affection and attention and the care that you needed as a child, and that all ropes up without you being consciously aware of it into your adult life. And then you start looking for a partner who will be the dad to fill the daddy gap. And the first thing you think is, I found a daddy. And he's like, I ain't your daddy. And if you look at it, when you connect at that early stage, you want to play the daddy mommy role. If you're consciously aware, you will notice, let's do this. The things that daddy did not do, the things that mommy did not do, now we want to play house. I've played with too much Barbie dolls. I know what the Barbie dolls need me to do. So I'm going to act it out like I acted out with my dolls at home. That's one of the reasons the society has so much conditioned us women to think that is the Disney movies, Cinderella story, Rapunzel, throw me down your hair and let me catch you. Those are the conditioned mindset that we take into relationships as women when we're not fully whole, or whole at all, or healed at all, or know ourselves at all. We're always seeking for the happily ever after. But when you know yourself, Darnie said, yes, that was me. When you know yourself, you're like, what the heck? The first thing you do when you know yourself is this. He's sitting down and you're like, what do you want? You're literally asking, what do you want? What do you want from me? And if he's not answering the questions, you're not even talking. You're just listening to see if this one is one of those who would come waste your time and play the games and is a boy, he's not a man yet. And so you can easily detect this one is a boy. And you're not like, oh, I need a partner who drives a luxury car. Why should he be driving a luxury car? How does that add to you? How does that add value to you? He's just an OG. Hey, Darnie, it's no more looking for daddy. You're working on yourself, girl. And I'm so proud of you that you're doing the work, because the work is so rewarding. And it's so worth the wait when you do the work. Because you can recognize that the distractions will test your faith. And you will sometimes sleep if you're not strong enough. But if you're strong enough, you're going to be patient with yourself, because you understand love is patient. And because you love yourself enough, you're going to be like, another time waster, I ain't got time for that. I remember having a conversation with a childhood friend that I had not talked to in a very long time. I think it was 3 weeks ago. And we were talking and he said, oh, I heard that you're a tough cookie. And I said, hey, I learned my lessons the hard way. So why should I throw in what's not bringing me value? Why should I be sitting with something that's not bringing me value? I'm thinking business, you're thinking romance. Does romance put food on the table? No. But when there's food on the table, Daddy says no more yes. When there's food on the table, what happens? It's easy to have the romance. When there's no food on the table and you're doing romance, you're going to be fighting a lot. But when there's food on the table, you're like, hey, we can play. When you're coming to the table with value and he's coming to the table with value, and you're both brainstorming and you're both agreeing and you're both coming to a conclusion together that works for you. Danis is laughing. That works for you, but you're like, hey, this works. And then your partner can look at you and say, hey, honey, one quick question. Do you think we should do this? And he's checking in with you before he does anything, because he knows you're in alignment and you're in agreement and you're both intentional about the relationship. Even as a friend, he's asking you for your opinion because he values your opinion. As a friend, he's asking you, what do you think of this? Do you think this is good for me? And that may be a test for you. And if you're not ready for the test, you're just going to be like, am I your mom? Why are you asking me that? You said we're not dating, so why should I answer that? But he's looking at you like, she can't even answer a simple question. She's already having an attitude, so I don't want to deal with this one. How are you adding value? What are you seeing that he's doing that he can improve on? One of the things that we women don't realize is when you talk to a man, when you communicate to a man in a tone where he feels elevated, he will appreciate you more than you know. Let me say that again. When you communicate to a man in a way where he feels elevated, he will value you more than you know. Because before he goes to even his mother sometimes to ask for the advice, he's coming to you and asking you for the advice. Hey, I just said I should ask you before I talk to my mom. What do you think about this thing? And you're like, why are you asking me before you ask your mom? Because I value what you have to say than me talking to my mom first. And then you start to know if he's doing things like that, you don't even have to ask him. So now that you're, and most of us annoy men, let me tell you, I used to annoy men before I found myself. And I know this because sometimes I'll be like, and so why are you telling me that? But he's already telling you, then you're asking him when he's telling you stuff, and he's already confiding in you, building the trust that takes time with you. And then you come and say, oh, so you're asking me, but you were not dating. Can't he ask you as a friend for your opinion? If you don't build the foundation of friendship, how would you survive the test of a relationship? Let me say that again. If you don't build the solid foundation of friendship, how would you survive when you start building the relationship? If you're not adding value to him when you're a friend as a woman, how would you add value to him when you're married as a couple? Hi, Annie. Thanks for joining from Chicago. So you have to look at these things. It's not just about, I want a relationship. What do you want a relationship for? Why should you be in a relationship? I asked a client that question this week, and this was all I got. Why do you want to be in a relationship? Most people don't know. Most women don't know. I just want a relationship because I want a companion. I need someone to talk to. It's better than not having somebody to talk to. Talk to the walls. Talk to your girlfriends. When you can't talk to your girlfriends, talk to God. And get the answers that you need from God in a way where when you get those answers, you feel like you've been knocked on the head to wake up. You don't need a man to talk to a man all the time. Talk to your junior brother if you have one. Talk to your cousin if you have one. Talk to your uncles. Talk to your dad if you have one. I don't have a daddy again, so I talk to the walls in my house and I talk to God. I don't even need to ask my son those questions. You go on your knees and like, Lord, I feel this thing in my soul. What should I do? Sometimes you get slapped awakened. Like, girl, you don't need that. And you really have to ask yourself, is it because everybody's getting into a relationship? Is that it? Are you everybody? That's the next question I'm going to ask you. Are you everybody? Your name is not everybody. So if everybody's doing it, it doesn't mean that you have to do it. It has to be the right time when you're ready for it. Hey, Helene, it's been a while. I'm sure you'll catch up on the replay as well. So you have to look at it. Why do you have to be in a relationship? What is the purpose of the relationship in your life in this present moment? Is it just companionship you need? Or are you truly ready for the commitment? Because those are two different things. Those are two different things. Are you ready for the commitment or do you need the companionship? Because when you need companionship, what usually happens is you're going to settle for convenience because you're not ready for commitment. Oh, my girlfriend just started dating, so I have to date. You're not your girlfriend. Because she's dating doesn't mean that you're ready to date. Because everybody's getting married doesn't mean you have to get married when you're not ready for it. Because when you get married, when you're not ready for it, it's going to be a disaster. I'm a testament of that. I didn't know what marriage was when I got married. It was just the pressure. Your friends are getting married. Like, all right, let's get married. And then you start to pound him. I'm not pregnant yet. But you're not ready for the baby. Helene says me too. You know, you really have to look deep into these things. Don't become conditioned with the societal norm. I've watched a wedding today, and I'm watching a wedding, and I'm beginning to fantasize, oh, my wedding is coming. No. Fantasies are illusion, and they will only result in you becoming delusional. Because they're not real. Don't let fantasies and fear lead you into the wrong relationships in 2021. You have to be ready for what you're looking for. And when you present what you're looking for at the relationship table when you meet, the guy can tell you, yeah, I see the value you bring to the table, but it's not going to happen in week 1 or week 2 or week 3. It may not even happen in 3 months or 6 months because he's still evaluating you. But if you're running on your emotions, you're already looking at from day 1, I have a boyfriend. He's not yet your boyfriend. You don't even know him yet. Do you know what he does for a living? Have you confirmed what he does for a living outside of what he told you? Do you know what his history is? What do you know about him in week 1? All you can know is he drives a car. He came to my house. I don't know where he lives yet. Right? And if you don't even know where he lives, that's the worst one. Because let me tell you, those players out there that are lost in their own world, if they're not ready, you will not even know where they live. All they do is come over to yours. But when you're committed to yourself, you're going to be like, we're meeting in public. My house is not a place where you come because I don't know you like that. If I ask, would you invite a stranger into your house who you just met maybe yesterday? Your answer will be no. So why are you inviting somebody who you just met yesterday to come over? Do you know what kind of person he is? You don't know yet. Give me 1 second. I have to get up. That's my son at the door. You don't know yet. So you have to think about it when you do these things, you know. You have to think about these things when you do these things. You know. Who will do that? Helen said who will do that. You know, you have to look at it as I don't know him yet, so why am I inviting him over to my house? Let's meet in a public place so that at least I feel safe and secure in a public place. What if you invite him and something terrible happens and you call the police? They're like, did you invite him over? And he says, yes, you did. They'll be like, you invited him over. How would you defend yourself in that instance as a woman? Week 2, you can't even say, oh, we've been seeing each other for week 2, so we're dating. Nah, you're not dating. You don't know that person well yet in week 2. Even in 2 months, you don't know them yet, because by the 3rd month is when you start to see the true colors of the person you're with. As a friend. Like by month 3, you're going to be like, So there was a lot of performance and auditioning to get here. And at that point, when you're still friends, you're going to be like, this ain't going to work. We're 3 months in and I already see the things I don't want. I've checked the red flags and I don't need the red flags. What I'm looking for are green flags. But if you're ignoring the red flags, this is what we do. I can manage. At least it's better than not having anybody, right? If you've ever done that, say yes. I raised my hand because I did it when I was younger. Yeah. He's not my type, but you know what? He's better than not having anybody. So we settle. I don't love myself yet. You know what? I can have this convenient relationship than the commitment I need. And then after a while, you're like, you didn't call me. I've left 5 messages. So why are you leaving a message? He hasn't called you yet because he hasn't seen the value yet. Let me tell you, when a man truly likes you, he can call you 10 times in a day. If you pick up at once, he's not going to, holler at you like, why didn't you pick my call? Because when they do that, that's trying to control and manipulate you. He's like, oh, I figured out you were busy. I just said I should check on you. And Darnie said yes. It's like, I figured out you were busy. I called several times. You didn't pick up. So I figured out you were busy. I was just checking on you. It's not like, oh, I called you 10 times. Where were you? Why didn't you answer my call? You already know if that person is already telling you that at the very beginning, you're like, red flag, dating red flag number 1, I'm out the way. Because that's about control and manipulation. That's not about friendship or partnership. Because when you're really in a healthy relationship, it's partnership. Oh, Darnice is laughing. It's like, hey, how are you? I called 10 times. I sent you text messages. Helen said red flag. You didn't answer. Is everything okay? Are you all right? Someone who's ready and looking to get into your space for a healthy and successful relationship, that's what he would ask you. Are you all right? I was just checking. Is everything okay? But meet the ones that are not healthy. Why didn't you answer my call? Where were you? I called you 10 times. It's like, you don't own me, dude. I'm still your friend. Why are you getting upset about me not picking my call? We're just friends. I don't have to answer your call every time. But if you've shown him when the phone rings, you're like, huh. He puts it down, he calls back, huh. He's like, oh, she's always available. She's easy to get. I can control and manipulate this one. But it's like, you look at the phone and you're like, I don't feel like talking now. I'm watching a movie. This is me time. And then he calls, he's like, oh, I called, you didn't pick up. Is everything okay? Yeah, I was watching a movie. Oh, that's okay. You've already shown him that you value your time when you don't pick the call and say, I was watching a movie. But the one who doesn't value your time that you've already shown, you're welcome. Chinaka is laughing. Helen said that's me. When he calls, you're like, let me pause the movie. Yes, I was watching a movie. He didn't even ask you yet. You've already told the tale. I was watching a movie. I had to pause it to pick up your call. Girl, you don't have to pause anything to pick up the phone call. My movie is much more important because that's my me time. Or you're talking with a girlfriend or maybe your mom or your sibling or anybody, and the phone, you're on the phone and you're like, oh, Jay is calling me. Hang up. And then he speaks to you for 1 minute, and then you're calling them back like, oh, that was Jay. Who's Jay? Didn't you tell him you were on another call? Is he more important than the person you're talking to before? Did the person you were talking to before had priority in the line of the phone calls before? Before Jay called you? Helen said we have to stop this, ladies. Was the person on the phone call priority before Jay's call came in? Yeah, absolutely yes. You were on the phone with someone. Easily click and say, hey, I'm on the phone, I'll call you back. That doesn't hurt. But you're like, Jay's calling, hang up, I gotta talk to Jay. You've already shown him, oh, I was on the call, I told them I'll call them back. Oh, now Jay's like, oh, I'm priority now. So she's always gonna leave other people to attend to me. And you've just boosted his ego that he needed to be validated. I'm important. So if even anybody calls, she'll pick my call first. That's why when he calls you in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. when you should be sleeping, you're like, Jay, I woke up to take your call. Hello? It's 2 a.m. I'm supposed to be sleeping. Why are you calling me at 2 a.m.? If you need to call at 2 a.m. and it's not emergency, please call 911. Helene said we can be really pathetic. It's the emotional wounds that we carry. Those are what we present when we are not healed. We don't love ourselves yet. We're not whole yet. Those are the things that we present. And the man is looking like you like, so when you're already doing all of this, what value are you showing him? What value is he seeing? We are one day away from getting to crossing over to 2021. All this BS has to stop in 2020. Please. I'm tired of having potential clients come to me and just emotionally dump. I usually cut them off now because I'm not a dumpster. If you're trying to dump, girl, you got to get into a program that can help you. Don't even try to justify why you have to chase that guy back. Because you haven't showed him that you value your worth yet. You haven't showed him why he should choose you yet. All you've shown him is why you need to chase him and why you're making him priority over yourself. And why you're self-abandoning to really get him to be all that you need. Helene says that great. Ladies, let's stop this. You have to understand it. It's not rocket science. It's so simple. If you get to know and understand you and understand that these people are coming to bring you the awareness that you need so that you can work on yourself to heal, know yourself well enough, know what you're looking for, know what the purpose of the relationship is, know how you can add value to each other, then you will not do all this chasing and begging and pleading, but you will connect with that awareness that you're gaining. And you won't be like, but let me tell you, I've done stupid things that I even had to laugh at myself when I started healing. But you see, we have to make it work. What are you working? What's working when it's not already working? How can you work what is not working? Oh, let's fix this. What are we fixing? We put duct tape, and then in 2 days the duct tape comes up. Are we going to get another strip of duct tape and duct tape it again? And the duct tape keeps creating the crack, and the crack keeps getting bigger. Oh, we still can try. What are you trying? Have you not tried enough? And see that you both are not ready for what you're looking for? All you're ready for was the convenience. And they see that it's the emotional dumping is too much for them to handle. So they're going to look for somebody who's convenient and not going to emotionally dump. And that's why you see men going from one woman to another woman without becoming fulfilled, because they're not fulfilled in their lives yet. But you're trying to make them see that this relationship will be purposeful. What's the purpose of it when it started? And why didn't it work if it was going to be purposeful from the beginning? If you have any questions, feel free to ask me while I'm on here so that I'm not just the only one. It's a two-way communication. So feel free to open up, because when you ask, you receive. Remember that. When you ask, you receive. And that's one of the things that you also have to understand as a single woman. When you're not asking, you're not receiving the information that you need. You're not downloading who this person is. You're just like, I read the Cinderella dropped her sandal and the prince found it, and I found my prince. The prince didn't find me or come back with the Cinderella shoe. I was the one chasing the prince with my Cinderella shoe. You gotta catch me. I have to be the one by fire, by force. And he's like, girl, I didn't pick your shoe up. We don't need to audition. You just need to present who you are and let them see your worth and your value when you sit at the table. And you're not looking about relationship in the first 6 months. You're building on the friendship. Let's be friends. But we're not going to be friends with benefits because there's no because the benefit you're looking for in the cookie jar is not available with me. Because men will try you if you allow them. If you start to get emotional, they will try you and test you and push your button. But if you're not strong enough, Darnice is laughing. If you're not strong enough, guess what? You'll be like, ah. And we lived happily ever after, the end. But the end is like, we didn't live happily ever after. He ghosted. He became Casper overnight. If you've ever watched Casper the Ghost, that was one of my favorite cartoons when I was growing up. He just ghosted. He decided, I'm gone. I can't handle these emotions anymore. Let me go look for someone who I can start over with. And because he doesn't know himself, what are you expecting? Helen says friends with benefits, no such thing. I'm completely on the same page with you. Let him know. Listen, this is who I am. You either take me as I am or you're not ready. And let me tell you, there are no high standards when you know who you are. Let me say that again. There are no high standards when you know who you are because you're choosing to wait. You're choosing to respect yourself. You understand that part of the attributes of love is self-respect. You understand that part of the attribute of love is patience. You understand that part of the attributes of love is trust. And trust takes time to build. You cannot build trust overnight. Helen says, you're not ready, bro. And just tell him jokingly, dude, you ain't ready. And I ain't ready for what you got. I'm waiting, and it's going to be worth it when I get it. I've shared with you so many times. I had a 50-year-old client who never married. But guess what? When she got engaged, she was like, it was worth the wait. You were right. And I said, don't you just enjoy it when it happens? And before she wakes up, she's like, he already knows what I drink. He already lays everything out and he's like, here. Oh, I washed your car today. Oh, what do you need? And she said, I don't even ask him anything. And sometimes I get upset that he's doing these things. And I said, why are you upset? You didn't ask him. He's giving because that's who he is. You're not like, oh, my love language is giving because I never had someone to give me when I was a child. So all I want you to do is give me everything. And he's going to be like, all right. And then he gets tired of giving because you're emptying him out and he's going to be like, I'm checking out. Till your food is ready. Yeah. Thank you. You have to look at it like, Helen says, yeah, Kemi, that's what I want to. Love is so simple. We complicate it. It's not even hard. Oh, I don't want him to get upset. I don't want him to start talking. I'm going to stop people pleasing. I'm going to stop being a doormat. You don't have to be a doormat when it comes to true love. You just have to be yourself. Because he knows you deserve to be treated right. He sees you as he sees himself and nothing less. He sees you the way he can treat his sister or his mother and nothing less. He holds you up with so much respect and honor. And let me tell you, you won't be the first person to say, we're on social media, we're now together. No. You will wake up one day and be surprised that he posted the picture without even tagging you. And no comment under the picture. He's just showing the world, this is my girl. And you don't have to say anything. but he's decided I'm declaring it to the world. But girl, if he ain't ready, you're gonna post the pictures, you'll tag him, and he's not accepting your tag. He's keeping it on your wall, and and he's keeping it on your wall, and he's not even saying anything about you on his wall. And you're like, why do you accept the tag? Because you ain't the one. We meet at the party and he's like, oh, selfie. And you post the selfie, he's talking about something different. You tag him, he's not even you tag him, he's not even looking at the picture. He's not even commenting on the picture. Because you're not the one. You're just trying to force him into what he's not willing to accept. And then you go to parties and you want everybody to know that you're together at the party, and he's like hanging with the guys and hanging with other women, and you're like, and he's not coming around to put his arm around you and show you to people and let people see. But you're the one who's like, you ain't the one. Or you're trying to force yourself to be at a party with him. No, I heard that you're going to this party, so we're going together. And he's like, no, we ain't. You were invited separately. And even if you go together, sometimes they don't mind taking the ride in your car if you're willing to pick them up because they don't want to drive. And then you get to the party and it's like 2 different entrances. Or, hang on, I need to speak to someone. And you're hanging on and holding a drink, and he collects the drink and walks away from you. And then you get into the car to go home. You walk out first, and he walks out through the back door so nobody sees that you were getting into the same car. And you're like, why did you try and deny me at the party? Because you ain't the one. He would rather hang with his guys at the party than hang with you. You know, some silly things we do as women. Stop playing the mommy. He has a mother, or he's had a mother before. Let me tell you, a man that's broken, that did not have that motherly role, will make you play the motherly role out of trying to control. Because he missed the attention and affection as a child. So when you come and start cooking and cleaning, guess what? The day you don't cook and he comes back, he's like, why is there no food? What are we eating? What did you make? Because that's the only thing he sees you for. She's going to cook, she's going to clean. Absolutely. Chineke, so guys can be needy when they're not healed. If you ever find a partner that's needy, it's because there's deep emotional wounds that are buried that they don't even want to touch on. But the more you run away from the wounds, the more you're going to meet the partner who comes in. And Chineke, I'll speak to this because what happens when a man meets a woman that is healed, if he's not healed, is this. His ego will try to make him feel less than. And because his ego is acting on his behalf and he doesn't want to be belittled, but he's focusing more on ego than such himself, he will lose a good woman. And Helen says that's a turnoff. He will lose a good woman, and guess what? He will regret it for a long time until he works on himself and meets the next person that is right for him. I had a friend who that happened to. And when he got married, up till this very day, he still compares. Every time we see, because I know the girl, he would ask me, do you still talk to so? I'm like, uh-huh. Aren't you married now? He's like, I'm just asking. No, you're not just asking, because that pain is not healed yet. And I literally tell him all the time, I hope you're not acting out based on you asking me about this girl, this woman, every time we meet. What is it that you are not letting go of? She's gone. You're married now, but every time we meet, the first thing you ask is, when last did you see so? Don't ask me again. What does me seeing her have to do with you? Let it go. It wasn't meant to be, because if it was meant to be, it would have happened. And it goes both ways, but it goes both ways. And you have to understand that when you are really, God will bring you things to test you. Sometimes God will bring people to test you. When you're praying, you have to also be careful what you're praying for, especially when you're not ready. When you're not ready and you say, God, I just want to have someone to love me. If you're not ready, he will send the right person. But if you're not ready, you will chase that right person out the window. And then you'll be like, how can you what? You didn't recognize what you needed when God brought that person to you, because either your ego or your fears were making you chase the partner away. Again, I've documented all of this in all of my books. All the 4 books have the things that I'm talking about are in here with workbooks. And they're also in the Purposeful Relationship Inner Circle, which is a 6-module, 12-week program. And you have to understand it. What exactly is the purpose of the relationship? Do you even understand your own purpose? Do you understand the partner's purpose? Are you in alignment? Darnie says, yes, he will. Are you in alignment? You're welcome, Helen. Are you in alignment? What core values do you share? That's a question you have to ask yourself. And that's why I always share my quote with you from my book on Becoming Restored. Let a man connect with your soul before he connects with your body. Because when your soul is in alignment, nothing can go wrong. You're able to communicate effectively and efficiently. You're able to know what your partner is going through before they even open their mouth to say, hey, I need this stuff. You're looking at it like, oh, I woke up. Something is wrong with my partner, because our souls are in alignment. Our souls are bonded. I'm not saying tie your soul to someone, because there's a difference between soul ties. Soul ties happens when you have that unhealthy sexual connection, and all soul tie does to you is leave you in a place where you're having panic and anxiety attacks over an obsession over a partner because you've tied your soul to them. But when you're in a healthy place, your souls are in alignment, that if that person is sleeping and you sense something is wrong with them, you will know. Pretty. Yeah. You will know. Armed, night, stay, exit now. You will just know it. Oh, he's quiet. Helen says, yes, there's a difference. You look at him, he's coming home and he's quiet. You welcome him home and you're like, something is not right. How was your day? It's not like he's coming and you're like, oh, guess what happened to me today? Da, 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 da. And he can't even open his mouth to tell you anything anymore because he's already overwhelmed emotionally with the emotional dumping. When you start dating and something is wrong, when your spirit is in alignment, you will know. Oh, I don't feel like going out today. You're not like, no, you already promised we're going here today, so we have to go. That's what happens when you're unhealthy. We have to go. You can't give me another excuse and you're fighting. But when you're healthy and you're both on the same page in alignment with each other's souls, he says, I can't go where we said we need to go anymore. Oh, you know what? Whatever is going on with you is much more important. Let's sit and talk about it. What's up with that? What are you going through? How can I be that iron sharpening your iron? How can I be the deep calling onto your deep? How can we get to where we need to get to together to resolve those things that you're going through, because you're not alone. But if you're not healthy and you're just looking for that convenience, like, he has come up with another excuse. Have I done something? Every time I say we should do this, you just don't want to do because you're trying to force it. You're trying to manipulate him to do whatever. He may even say, you know what, I'm not feeling great. I can drop you there if you still want to go. Let me tell you, I have an aunt that I kind of observed her and her husband, and I so much respect them. She's like a mom to me. I know she may catch this video and catch me sharing it on Facebook. But I've watched my uncle and aunt. If my aunt says, hey, I'm going on a girls' trip, my uncle is like, have fun, goodbye. And then he calls maybe like 2 hours later. Are you safe? Are you okay? Did you get to where you're going? Did you check in? Is everybody good? And then he says hello to everybody and he hangs up. And he's not like 5 minutes. Who are you with? What's going on? She's gone 2 weeks before. And my uncle just let her enjoy. It's her time. That's when you're in a healthy relationship. If you're not in a healthy relationship, you're like, I can't leave you home because I don't know, maybe you'll be the other girl. You may end up in the neighbor's bedroom and you're freaking out for no reason. And you're not even married yet. You're just dating. You may not even be dating yet. You may still be in the friendship phase. Helene says that's a healthy relationship. Yep. I tell you, I so much respect their relationship because you will not know if you see them outside that they're husband and wife. You will think that they're friends that are hanging out. He lets her be her person. He lets her be her person. If she says this is how we're going to do it, he's like, you're the boss. But get in an unhealthy relationship. No, we're not doing it your way. It's got to be my way or the highway. And then you're begging him, oh, please, I'm sorry. Okay, let's do it your way. Hello? And you're still just seeing each other. You're not even sure if you're in a relationship or not, if you're dating or not. Because you're not vetting him. You're not vetting him to see if that's what you need because you don't know what you need yet. You're just like going with the flow. I don't want to be alone, so I got to be with someone, and we just got to rock it and try to fix it even though it's not fixable. And then you go to church on Sunday. You're good? Yeah. You go to church on Sunday and you're like, oh, Lord, don't let me lose Daniel. I just cannot afford to lose Daniel. And God is like, God is looking at you like, Daniel who? And then you start getting upset with God. You're not answering my prayer so fast. No woman will take Daniel away from me. Hello, Daniel is already way gone. I hope I'm not making my poor son choke on his food. Daniel is gone. But you're praying by fire, by mountain, he has to come back to you. Chineke says great pointers, and Daniel is scared too. Absolutely. Daniel is like, she's obsessive. And we're not even dating yet. So if I start dating her, what the hell is she gonna do with me? And then you see us women fighting over Daniel, and Daniel is like, what the heck is wrong with two of them? And he's walking out on the two of you, and you're pulling each other's wigs out. And Daniel is like, woo, Lord, what the heck? And none of you belong to Daniel, because Daniel is his own person. You don't even own him. He's not even in a relationship with both of you yet. You're just still friends. Maybe friends with benefits at that stage. You know, we really have to think about these things as women. It's no joke. Most of the time, we're unconscious about the choices that we're making when we're not healed yet, when we're not whole yet. And so we're running. You just met today, maybe you're washing your car and the guy walked up to you and said, hey, let me help you clean up the car and get it. He said, Daniel is going up to see his number 3. You know, maybe you were washing the car and he voluntarily said, let me help you clean. I see a woman do this. I'm a gentleman. I've been taught from home to help out. And the next thing he's like, can we go for a drink? And you already ran to the mall, go to Mac's store and get your makeup done. And then you're buying a dress for who you don't know yet. For who you don't know yet. Is he just inviting you out for a drink to get to know you and figure out why you were washing your car by yourself? Or is he asking you out for a date? You don't know yet. You don't know yet. But you already bought the dress. And then you go on that drink date and he doesn't show up again. And you start freaking out by calling his phone because he gave you the number. 10 times, 10 times, 10 times. Where the heck do you think you are? Who the heck do you think you are? You're not returning my calls. Hello? He only asked you out for a drink to get to know you. He doesn't know you yet. But when you start showing him all of that, what do you think? He's going to take to his heels. He's like, hell no. I ain't doing this anymore. Quick. He's changed his phone number. Then you meet at the mall again. He sees you coming. He's running the other direction because he's like, that's that crazy girl who will call me 101 times. And then you're wondering why he's running away. What are you presenting? What are you presenting? Do you know if your purpose in his life was just to deposit a word that can help him think about his life in that moment, but you're already fantasized about getting married and going to the altar with somebody that you don't know yet? Oh, he's like, I'm hanging out with my friends tomorrow. Would you like to come? Because maybe your conversation has made him realize that you're lonely. So he's inviting you without even saying anything yet about dating or relationship. And you're like, oh, we're going to see his friends. I got to do my best. And then you get there and start acting like the girlfriend. And he's like, meet my friend. And then you get upset that he introduced you as a friend. What do you think? You may have said something that made him see, you know what? She's bored. So let me invite her out to hang out with us. Because he already has a plan. But you're already there and you think, this is our second date. So maybe I'm the girlfriend. And then you're trying to cuddle and he's like, and then you get in the car going home and you're like, why did you introduce me as a friend? Because you're still a friend. He doesn't know you yet. Do you see how things play out if you talk about it? But what we do is you now go to your friends and you're like, that idiot asked me out for a drink. And then he took me out and he told people that I'm his friends. What the hell does he think? And your friends that are not healthy, they're like, he's such a jerk. You should drop him. He's not your type. I wouldn't even take that for no. But they've already taken 101 slaps with such things. But they're telling you, you know, don't waste your time around. And you're like, And then at your back, once you go there, like, Look at her. He don't even know her yet. And she's already like, girl, go waste your time. Bye. But then they see you coming again. They're like, oh, this dress will look good when you're going out with, Joe. But Joe doesn't even know you as a girlfriend. Joe is just trying to know you as a friend. But all your girlfriends have heard about Joe. And you're now shopping at the mall for this drink that you're going with Joe. Helen says, my Lord, I hope I'm not that kind of, I hope I'm not that kind of friend. Sometimes we don't even know we're doing it consciously. But when you start gaining the conscious awareness of these things, you become to awaken yourself to reality. How did I perform? How did I audition? What role did I play? That's one of the questions you have to keep asking yourself at the end of every relationship. What role did I play? How did I present myself? What did he see and not see? What did he say and not say? What did I not hear when he said it? Because your first 2 dates, a man will tell you exactly what he's looking for. But if you're not paying attention, oh Lord, your emotions will be like all over the place. He's telling you, I'm not ready for commitment. You're like, oh, we can still hang out. Girl, I'm not ready. But all you're hearing is we can still hang out. And you know what? He'll be like, you know what? She's lonely, so that's fine. We'll go out. And then you're getting lonely and you're like, can you cuddle? And he's looking at you like, okay. And then you're shaking all over and he's like, okay, you know what? She's taking me into that excitement stage. So she's giving it away. I'll just go with the flow. Take it nice and slow. And then he's gone and you're like, why does it hurt so bad? Why do I feel so sad? I thought I was over you. And he's like, girl, I've been long gone for days. Chineke says, rule of thumb, pay attention to the first days. I agree. And that's a man agreeing with me. Your first 2 dates, your first 2 conversations, the man will tell you exactly. Except you're not asking the questions. Once you say, what do you want? If you see him telling stories and trying to, just know he's ready to play a game. But a man who is ready for commitment will tell you, listen, I'm not about all this BS. This is what I'm looking for. What do you want? He's going to throw it at the table when you have that initial conversation. What are you looking for? This is what I'm looking for. I listened to someone this week. She's also a coach. She recently got married and she said on our second date, he was asking for a third date and he was trying to bring his dad to our date and he was asking for my permission. Because he saw the first 2 dates. Girl, you got value and I don't want to lose you. And the dad came on the third date. And she said, I introduced myself as his friend. I didn't think I was a girlfriend because he brought his dad to meet me. No, the dad came to check you out. So if you're already like, Dad, who's your daddy? The man ain't your daddy yet. The man is trying to vet with his son to see if you're right or not. So you have to be careful how you play these games, If you're playing the mind games, it's very for a guy to play the mind game with you. It's that simple. I've actually gone over the time I wanted to be on air for. But I'm glad I can do this because I wanted to do this for the women before the end of the year. I did a short one for men this morning. And I'm going to be doing more. Hi, Linda. Thanks so much for joining. I'm going to be doing more for men Because the thing is, we don't realize as women that sometimes the men we come in contact with are really in an unhealthy place with themselves. If a man is not financially ready, he doesn't want to commit. He's still struggling financially. He knows he can't take care of you the way he will want to. But if you try to force him and say, we can put my money down, we can do this. If he's not healthy, he will take advantage of you because, remember, he's trying to survive. So that will be convenient for him. The moment you say move in, shoo, he's already moved in. You're the one paying all the bills. He's just a freestyling in your house. God help you if he doesn't even have a job. Because you'll be the one buying the gas and doing everything. And then you get overwhelmed and you're like, boy, be gone. Or he decides to go get engaged to somebody else who maybe get him a job and add value back to him while you're just making him sit in your house. I've had someone reach out to me on Facebook. She spent 15 years with him, housed him, did everything for him. But guess what? He got engaged to somebody else after 15 years. You don't want that. You don't even need that. That's you playing caretaker. That's you playing babysitter. That's you preparing him for somebody else. When he has not mentioned in 15 years what he's doing with you or who you are to him. You have to show yourself so much love and respect and add value to yourself so that when you meet the man, you're easily able to add value as you allow him to see what you're bringing to the table. If you missed that video 2 weeks ago, please go rewatch it. Replay it until it sinks in your head. Don't go into 2021 trying to role play. It doesn't work. Are there men who end up discovering a woman when they role play? The healthy ones do, but it's very rare. Most of the time when you're role playing, when he hasn't identified you as the one, God, you're just going to waste your time. He's going to be like, bye, Felicia, at the end of the day. That's if he doesn't even ghost. You may even be sitting in the same room and he's catfishing while he's talking to you, if you're not the one. He may even sit in the same room with you and have a conversation with another woman on the phone without you recognizing, if you're not the one. Allow him to see the value in you. Your beauty doesn't come from this. All this will age away. Your beauty comes from here, your soul. Because when you start connecting on the soul level, when you start adding value to each other on the soul level, and you're not letting your flesh get in the way, or the lust and the infatuation and the fantasies and the illusions get in the way, you will have a clearer vision. It's like, guy, this is my goal. What is your goal? And if he doesn't have a goal, he'll tell you, I don't even know what a goal is. I don't have one. And you have to ask yourself, is this where you really want to be? For how many years do you want to be with somebody who doesn't have a goal? What is he aspiring to do with his life? Is he stuck? Do you want to get stuck? Do you want to be caregiver or babysitter or diaper changer? You have to ask yourself, what exactly do you need? And how are you presenting what you need so that your partner can see it? Because what you present is what you would accept. And if you're accepting less than you're presenting, then you're not there yet. And you have to know when you're there too. You don't have to fake it to say, I'm ready when you're not ready. Because most of us women want to say we're ready when we're not ready. You have to be ready for it. If you look at people who get engaged, what do the men do? The women don't even have an idea. It's like they plan something and it's like, I just have to. And they see, I read one recently. He said, if I have a headache, you're the Panadol to my headache. You take that headache away because you see right through me and you cut through me. It takes a lot for a man to say that. And that's because he's seen the value that you can add to him and he can add back to you. And if you look at men who have successful marriages or couples who have successful marriages, you would always hear the man say, the woman is the boss. Because that's the role God created us women for, the helpmate. When he can't see the clear vision, but he knows who he is, he knows where he's going, he has a vision, he has goals, he's going to look up to you like, girl, how can we get here together? Your iron can sharpen iron, your deep can call onto deep. Think about these things. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to be signing off. It's almost my bedtime, and I still have to clean up my kitchen. But I just wanted to share that with women. You know, we're almost rolling into 2021. And you have to stop doing these things if you want to have that healthy and successful relationship in 2021. Show him the value that you are. Thanks so much, Chineke. You have to show him the value that you are. You have to show him you value yourself. You have to show him you're not going to be codependent and expect him to be your daddy, because he will never be. You have to show him that you can both grow together. And you have to show him that through thick and thin, you're there. You're welcome, darlings. Happy New Year to you as well. So it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And you don't work on yourself at once. Let me tell you the truth. You can't heal all at once. Healing is a lifetime process. As you're growing together, you have to understand that change would also come as you're growing together. So you have to be open to that. You have to be open to him being vulnerable with you and share his weaknesses that you will help him turn into strengths. You have to let him know that you are worth every moment for a lifetime. And it's not by you asking or saying it to him. He has to see it. Because when he sees it, it becomes easy for him to really soak himself into it and accept you for that reason without you having to say, do you love me? Because if you have to ask if somebody loves you, there's no love in it. You're asking him to validate the love that doesn't need to be validated. Love is a natural thing. It is part of you. It is part of your partner. And when you both have it, it's oneness. If you're asking if somebody loves you, listen, you don't even love yourself enough. You haven't told me you love me today. So you have to wait for that love every day. And you think that will be the action that you need to see that someone truly loves you? Oh, it was Valentine, you didn't give me flowers. The flowers will die in 2 days. But what does the love mean without the flowers? Don't be so superficial in 2021. Go deep within and discover yourself. I invite you to come into the Purposeful Relationship Circle. It's $27 every month. I invite you to get the 4 books. They all have workbooks except for Love, Sex, Lies, and Reality. This has a workbook, this has a workbook, and this has a workbook. And as long as you're doing the work, the results will come. Don't rush it, because love is patient. You have to allow yourself to emerge. Because when you meet someone and you're your true self, it's easy for your souls to connect without you trying to make anything happen. Without you thinking, he's going to give me the ring tomorrow. Oh, New Year's Eve, maybe I'll get the ring. And then New Year's Eve comes and you don't get the ring and you're like, why didn't you propose on New Year's Eve? Because you're not the one, or he's not ready yet. You don't have to make a man do anything. He's going to do what he needs to do as a man when he sees that you're of value. That's all I have, guys. Remember to date privately. Date privately, because dating is a vetting and sorting game. Nobody needs to know when you're dating and trying to figure out who the right partner for you is or what works best for you. They don't need to be in your business. Court consciously. You have to be conscious when you're courting so that this thing, you can resonate with each other's soul and you can help each other grow. And then you marry wisely, because in your wise choices, your marriage will be able to grow and flourish in a way where nothing will put you apart. The love starts with you. When you become that love, you attract the love, and then you manifest the love in your relationship. And that relationship will be healthy, successful, and purposeful for a lifetime. It's not for a short time period. And it's not an institution. It's a partnership. You're coming together as one, and you don't see yourself as separate. That's the beauty of it. You'll have an amazing night. I'll stop tomorrow night, the final night before we get to New Year, to talk to you all. I thank you so much for all the support and for allowing me to support you in 2020. I thank you for the love you show, because sometimes you don't know when I'm down, and I need the encouragement when I come up, because God just pushes me to come because somebody needed to hear it. But for every single moment, I am grateful. I am grateful for you being here. I am grateful for you learning. I am grateful to see you grow. I am grateful to see you emerge. And I am grateful that as we're growing together, we will keep soaring higher and really know who we are without settling for less than we truly deserve. You'll have an amazing night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And God keep us safe as we go through tomorrow and cross over into 2021. Much love and blessings. Good night.